Welcome to CBN News' virtual Holy Land tour, where you get to see the Bible come alive from the comfort of your own home. Archaeologists have uncovered some of history's most significant finds in and around Jerusalem. As Chris Mitchell reports, those discoveries became possible when Israeli troops captured East Jerusalem in June of 1967. Take a look.
At 10 years old, Eilat Mazar felt like part of her family came home when she first heard that Israel recaptured the old city.
Even as a child, I could sense that this is a huge event. It's like you get something back. People related to it like returning a lost son. That's what we were expecting for. Now it's happening.
23-year-old Gabi Barkai felt like his apartment added a room.
It was as if I visited the back room of the apartment in which I lived, that I was prohibited from entering for years. And suddenly it opens. Just imagine, it is my house, it is my city, and suddenly I can see it with my own eyes, I can touch it.
Now both Mazar and Barkai are among Israel's leading archaeologists. With teenage volunteers behind us, we talk with Barkai at the Temple Mount Sifting Project.
It's a revolution.
And you were part of that revolution.
I started my career then.
We sat down with Mazar at Hebrew University, overlooking the city.
After the '67 war, what did it mean for archaeology?
I would say that it's a turning point.
Both described how the Six-Day War redefined archaeology in Jerusalem.
In a couple of years after the Six-Day War, the results of Jerusalem archaeology accumulated to be much more than whatever was done in 150 years beforehand.
From 1948 to 1967, Jerusalem was a city divided by landmines, barricades, and barbed wire. Suddenly, after the Six-Day War and years of neglect, the doors of Jerusalem were opened to archaeologists who longed to uncover its ancient past. The first dig took place here at the southwestern wall of the Temple Mount by Eilat Mazar's grandfather, Benjamin.
My grandfather excavated 10 continuous years without stopping. This was a fantastic project, almost no parallel in dimensions. Hundreds of people worked. They revealed fantastic remains of ancient Jerusalem from all periods.
It caused a boom of archaeology. There were suddenly budgets for archaeology. There was a public interest in archaeology of Jerusalem. People come and visit the archaeological sites of Jerusalem.
Since 1967, Mazar and Barkai have made some of Israel's greatest finds.
We showed in the reveal King David's palace. We showed now more of the King Solomon's constructions, city, just as the Bible describes. He built a city wall around the temple, around his own palace.
We discovered the earliest biblical manuscripts ever discovered, predating the Dead Sea Scrolls by many centuries. These are two tiny scrolls of silver. We have the priestly benediction. The Lord bless you and keep you in both of them.
So did many of these discoveries after the Six-Day War, did they confirm the biblical record of Jerusalem?
In general, the answer is yes. The history which emerged from the results of the excavations fits well the historical data embedded in the Old Testament.
Perhaps Mazar's greatest find brought the Bible to life.
From the biblical times, finding the seal impression from King Hezekiah himself, this is unparalleled, unheard of, to come as close as you can imagine to a biblical figure, not to mention such a king as King Hezekiah. So to find his seal impression, it's almost touching him.
Is there any connection between what you've discovered and the time when Jesus was here in Jerusalem?
Yes, for sure. In the book of Acts and in the Gospel of John, there is a mentioning of the eastern porch of the Temple Mount, which was pre-Herodian. It appears under the name of the Porch of Solomon. And over there lies a capital which originates from the Porch of Solomon. We have the floors upon which the coins were rolling when Jesus turned upside down the temples of the money changers. We have those very floors, we have those very coins.
The biblical stories and the New Testament story, by the way, it goes together because they just prove quite accurately The development of Jerusalem and the way Jerusalem is described is quite accurate.
Today, 50 years after the war, Jerusalem is an open city. Visitors can come to see the excavations below the city of David, at the pool of Siloam where Jesus healed the blind man, or the massive dig near the walls of the old city.
People can come and see for themselves, and this is the best you can ask for. Come and see.
And for these lovers of history, the city has captured their hearts.
I come in the morning and go to sleep with Jerusalem. I mean, excavating Jerusalem, it's 100% on my mind. Besides my family, I mean, you know, we are very family people.
It's a wonderful city. There is no other place on earth which could compete with Jerusalem.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
Thanks for joining us today. Come back tomorrow where we'll take you to one of the most contested places on earth, the Temple Mount.